Hey there, so today we have another review, and this is a beer courtesy of Goose Island. Thank you for sending me that box, and this is a pre-release version of Goose Island Reserve Bourbon County Stout. So this is pretty much the same beer as Goose Island Bourbon County Stout, but instead of 5 to 7 year old Heaven Hill bourbon barrels, this sits in 11-year-old Elijah Craig barrels, and those apparently are quite wet, so we're going to part a different characteristic than the Heaven Hill barrels. And also this commemorates the 25th anniversary of Knob Creek. So let's dig into this beer. Let's see if we can find any differences. Comes in a beautiful silver label, so you can tell the difference. Beer obviously looks exactly the same. Should look exactly the same. Let's get the aroma on this one. Oh, that's so different. Wow. Oh, that's insane. It honestly doesn't immediately smell like Bourbon County. It smells like, oh, it's so much more nuanced. The aroma is a lot more level on the nose. There's not as sharp notes of like bourbon and big chocolate flavors. Yeah, it's a little bit more fudgy. It's a lot softer, more brownie-like, and then you also get the bourbon dancing in there. It's as if someone played around with the tasting notes and aromatics of Bourbon County. It's just sort of leveled off everything really nicely. And the dark fruits dancing in there. The milk chocolate, the dark chocolate. Wow, awesome. Cheers. Wow. That's reasonably different. The immediate thing that you notice about this is that, from what I understood, that there was more charring on these barrels, and you taste it. It's a lot more oak forward, char forward. Yeah. And then up front, there's this, it's just woody. Up front, you are greeted with this charred woody note. It follows throughout the palate. There's oak driving on the palate, and drying your palate out throughout the same way. A little bit of smoke. It really does not have the fat, rich sweetness that Bourbon County generally is perceived to have. For that reason, the dark fruit is tampered down. And then instead, actually, on the back end, you get a lot of coffee roast on this one. So along with the smoke and the char character, you're getting that kind of roast driving on the background. So this one really is for those heads, people that really enjoy oak, char, coffee, roast, bitterness, strong flavors instead of the big, rich vanilla sweetness, dessert, berry flavors that you might get from Bourbon County. Reasonably different beer. Very impressive. Wow. Wow. Honestly, this is a decent amount more drinkable. I don't necessarily want to choose favorites immediately saying, oh, wow, this one is specifically better than regular Bourbon County. I think it's just reasonably different. If you're a Bourbon County head, definitely get your hands on some, because this does not necessarily taste like any Bourbon County I've had, maybe aiming towards certain vintages at certain places of their aging. But this is fun. It's very barrel forward. I think this really works for people that like whiskey in general, bourbon in general. You're really going to get a lot of character from that barrel instead of a lot more of the base beer Bourbon County. Really impressive. It's different. I like it. I think it's great that it's actually different instead of being a same or too similar of a beer than regular Bourbon County. So absolutely amazing. Let's go another 100 on this one. I think it's awesome. I honestly think this is one of the more fun things they could have done with Bourbon County. Not throwing in crazy ingredients in there, but instead getting great amount of variation of flavor with a very special barrel treatment. So shout out to Knob Creek. Shout out to Goose Island. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, cheers. Later.